Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope and I pray you're well. Today we're going to be talking about the true traits of believers. Number 9. True believers are humble. It's a very, very easy word, humble. But it's very difficult to explain for some people. And for some people it's natural. Let's try and unpack this a bit more. What does Allah say in the Quran? He says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. He says in the Quran very, very powerfully that the true servants of the most compassionate are those who walk on this earth with humility. And when people come to address them with ignorance, they just say peace and walk away. Brothers and sisters, humility, humbleness is one of the most important traits of a true believer. Rasulullah has been narrated in many sayings where he has praised humility and he has condemned arrogance. Arrogance has been associated with being a cloak of shaitan, the devil. And humility is the true characteristics of a believer. What's humility? What's humbleness? How do we understand it? And how does humility affect us in our day-to-day living? Well, Allah begins by this introduction or this particular trait in the verse itself, in the way He says, and they walk on this earth with humility. In other words, in our walk, in our stride, if we have arrogance in ourselves, it becomes very visible. We walk with a swagger, we walk with some sort of power. We have the power walk, as we normally know this in our society. We have people who walk in our society amongst ourselves as though they are the best things ever. They are the kings or the queens of the world. Everyone must move out of the way in order to show them respect and regard. Arrogance is all about self-importance. If you think you are more important than everybody else, then you are arrogant. If you think you are more famous and most famous than anybody else, then you are arrogant. If you think you are more pious than everybody else, then you are arrogant. If you think you're better looking than everybody else, you're arrogant. The definition of arrogance is by what Shaitan said to Allah when Allah asked Shaitan and all the angels to prostrate in front of Adam, and every angel did except Shaitan. And when Allah asked, and why did you not listen to my words, my command? He says, I have been created from fire and Adam has been created from clay. خَلَقْتَنِي مِن نَارٍ وَخَلَقْتَهُ مِن طِينٍ. And he made this assertion, أَنَا خَيْرٌ مِّنْهُ, I am better than him. That assertion that I'm better than him in itself is a clear definition of arrogance. As soon as you feel you're better than anybody else, whether it is because of your looks, because of your clothes, because of your cloak, because of your money, because of your social status, because of your name, because of your family, because of your tribe, your ethnicity, color, language, anything, religiosity, piety, your height, your body weight, anything where you feel you're better than the others or better than anyone else, you are arrogant. A true believer is not arrogant. A true believer is the one who walks on this earth with humility. Our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to be the humblest of all people that you could imagine. One man came one day and he said, "You, O Muhammad," very, very, very rudely. He said, "Why, Muhammad? Who are you? Tell me about you." And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam turned around and he said, "Ana Muhammad ibn Abdullah. I am Muhammad, the son of Abdullah." Didn't say anything else. Didn't say Hazrat, Maulana, Shah, this, that, nothing. He did not do anything before his name. He just said, "I am Muhammad, the son of Abdullah." And yet within ourselves, we see scholars in quote unquote sheikhs, who would hate you to address them unless you have 20 prefixes before their name, titles. You have to call them Hazrat, Maulana, Sheikh, this, that, and the other. Their names are bigger than themselves. Arrogance, my brothers and sisters. Arrogance. You don't need those titles. The beloved Prophet of Allah, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, deserves all the accolades, all the names of the world that are good and wonderful, the honorifics, but he did not choose any. He always called himself Muhammad. This is a great lesson for all of us. Do we come across to others as arrogant by the fact that we demand respect from people? You demand it. I've been to places where I've been told, sit on the floor, the sheikh is on the chair. I've been told, you've entered the room, show respect to your elders by physically demonstrating respect. Well, that is not respect. That is arrogance on their part. So our beloved Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam always introduced himself as humbly as possible. He did not demand respect from other people, and he did not insist on other people showing him this pretentious, ostentatious, this artificial respect. That is not sign of humility. That is not humbleness at all. Humbleness is when you think you're like everybody else. You don't need more prominence. I go to programs and events often, and I really detest some behaviors that I see demonstrated by even some leaders. They march into the room and they demand to sit on the front without even being invited to the front. And what is worse, in some of the Bangladeshi cultures that I really don't like, is the stage on which they bring 50 people or 20 people. Why? Why is the stage so heavy? Why isn't all people who've been invited to the event just sit as ordinary participant, and when a person is speaking, just listen to them? Is it massaging the egos of those leaders? If we are massaging the egos of those leaders, then those leaders are arrogant. Arrogance must be shunned because that's the cloak of shaitan. Remember, he said, I'm better than Adam. And when you think you are better than everybody else, you lower yourself to the level of shaitan. We don't want to do that. We want to be humble people. So we're no better than anybody else. We're no more pious. We don't look down upon people. We don't treat people badly. We don't discriminate people based on their nationality, their color, their looks, their languages. No. In our community, I hear people have, forget about nationalism, now people have regionalism. Silatis don't like non-Silatis. Punjabis don't like people from Karachis. What's going on with our communities? What is this sickness that is overtaking us? This is arrogance. Prophet ﷺ said, children of Adam, you are nothing but made of turab, made out of sand and soil, clay. You are nothing but made of clay. What arrogance? The arrogance of your ancestors. You boast about the power of your ancestors who also have rotten away in the earth and died and rotten away. And what's happened to them? They've become bones. Even the bones have been eaten away, corroded and destroyed by the earth. So we really have nothing to be so boastful and arrogant about. We always need to understand we're not better than anyone else. Nationalism is one of the most destructive sickness that has overtaken the Muslim Ummah today. Artificial borders created by the colonial masters have given you and I an identity that I am Bangladeshi, I am Pakistani, I am Saudi, I am Kuwaiti, I am Sudani. These are created by the colonial masters. If you have rejected colonialism, you surely should also reject those artificial borders and boundaries that have been imposed on your head that makes you feel superior or in any way nationalistic. Nationalism is arrogance. These false arrogance will be no use to us on the Day of Judgment. Nothing whatsoever. We're all the same, my brothers and sisters. Adam alayhi salatu wasalam was made of clay. I am made of clay. Just like Adam died and became part of the soil, I'll become part of the soil. Whether I'm black or brown or white or Asian or African, whether I'm Bengali or Pakistani, earth would not discriminate, it would swallow it. So arrogant people don't recognize how flimsy they are. They think they are the best in the world. And true believers are never arrogant. They always think they're normal ordinary human being. So if you want to destroy arrogance, start by looking at yourself as a normal, ordinary human being. Don't give yourself any more importance. Don't pretend to be more important than everybody else. Don't think you're the most handsome, most beautiful person on the face of this earth. None of that. If you can walk on this earth with humility, you have done it. And this particular part is about helping you and I overcome the feeling of arrogance. I'm going to take a quick break. After the break, when I come back, I want to talk about the manifestation of arrogance and how we can overcome it through practical tips and practical suggestions. So don't go too far away. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.